I'm not going back and forth with a man who thinks that they should be in my position. If you want to be in my position, get in my position.
Do you believe that?
Bluff City Media presents The Anthony Sain Show on YouTube at Bluff City Media. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Anthony Sain.
Acknowledge me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Anthony Sain Show. It's your host, Anthony Sain. My man, Kenny Stubblefield behind the glass. What's up, my boy?
My brother, you good?
Man, Perry Sharkey also in the building, man. Mushmouth back there.
Mushmouth.
Perry's got his braces taken off.
Let's
man. The
go.
man all swole, you know what I'm saying? Mouth swole, got the retainer in.
Listen, man.
Can't talk.
Parrish is better looking than both of us combined.
Hey, who you telling, man? Who you telling, man? Perry Sharkey, that dude.
But he
real.
always had braces in his mouth. Now he's got them out, and I'm like, damn
it's over
you.
now. It's over
damn
now,
you.
It's over now. Y'all better be glad my boy off the market, man.
He's
He
off
be
the
out there.
market, man. Don't even talk to that man.
Hey, don't even play with him like that, man. Don't even play nothing about nothing got to do with nothing like that, man. For real.
Man, he's back here smiling, and I'm swooning, man. Come on, man.
Real talk, bro. But boy, Paris. Hey, Paris, if you want to say hello to the people, you can, bro. You know you can.
Say what's up.
What it do?
Man, my guy.
Oh,
Man, it's like a mouthful of marbles back there. my boy Paris Sharkey in the building. Oh man, Kitty, I was out last night, man. I was out last night at Dan McGinnis, right?
Let's go.
Supporting my boy Kevin Cerrito, who does musical bingo, man, every Wednesday night.
Sounds very white, Anthony.
Oh, that shit was dope, though. that shit was fire, bro. I was in that joint playing, man. I ain't win nothing, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, if a lady looked like a Tiger basketball fan, go by the name of Mildred. For the sake of the show, I'm just going to call her Mildred. She won a couple times, man. So I was trying to figure out how the whole thing went down, man. But I was watching that. And in the background, man, the Memphis Grizzlies were playing against Minnesota Timberwolves on the road. The Grizzlies got to a 14-0 lead. Jaren Jackson Jr. was looking like Kevin Garnett in the first quarter, man. I want to say he had 9 rebounds in the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Finished the game with, I think, 33 and 13 on the night.
A quiet 33.
Yeah, quiet 33 and 13, man. One of Jaren's best games production-wise as far as an all-around game. But just a little bit too much Anthony Edwards in the second half of the game. That dude is so cold, man. God. And it's so funny because Anthony Edwards is one of those guys who genuinely looks like he's enjoying his NBA career. Like he said, I'm going to have fun. And he was messing with Jaren after the game. I think somebody said they jersey swapped or something like that.
I didn't see that.
I don't know if that was true or not. But I know that, you saw the videos. Jaren and Anthony Edwards were FIBA World Cup teammates, and you saw the videos of Anthony Edwards gets a dunker in the practice. He was like, "Why you ain't jump defensive player of the year?" You know what I'm saying? Talking about Jaren.
They go at his head, man.
Yeah, it's like
game.
He really goes at Jaren, man.
Yes, he does.
But I think he's one of those dudes where, and you hear the jokes about Anthony Edwards and like his Michael Jordan's kid and all those type of things. Anthony Edwards is, I know people are gonna totally take what I'm saying the wrong way, but if Michael Jordan grew up in this era, Anthony Edwards is who Michael Jordan would be.
Man.
He wouldn't be as hardcore and crazy as Jordan is, but they've got a lot of similar characteristics, man. And I guarantee you that once Anthony Edwards is his final form, like when he's 26, 27 years old, and his grown man type stuff, you're going to hear something about he's going to be a player who's getting guys amped, like where he's motivating dudes, where he's going to be like that hard, tough dude like a Kobe, like a Jordan. He's a silly dude now, but I think that once he gets a little bit older, you see it now. Yeah. He's not the same dude he was even
when he first came in the
so
league.
ago. Yeah, he was crazy. He was a super immature kid up there eating chicken in the press conference. You know what I mean? So
I kind of liked it, man.
Oh yeah, I loved it. What do you mean?
Like,
eating Popeyes. But
I'm like, can I join you?
I think he's one of those guys who's going to be an ultimate teammate in the league, Anthony Edwards. And I'm sure that I don't think he has any real problem with Jaren. I think it's just something he does because I'm sure they're cool. Somebody said they did a jersey swap after the game. I didn't see that. I can't confirm that. But
I want to get your thoughts on this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is off the topic for just 1 second, but is Minnesota really a?
Yes, y'all are crazy.
Okay,
they're good.
No, I still feel like this is Karl Anthony Towns' team. The way that people talk about
I get what you're saying. I thought you were asking, are they legit?
Like this? No, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't trust them in the playoffs until it's fully Ant's team. Like.
Yeah,
I just don't think they're that. I don't trust Karl.
No, man.
I think Ant is that. I think Ant is that dude, man. He is so nasty.
I think defensively that team is already super stout, right? And I think that once you get in the playoffs and you start slowing shit down, that team is gonna be hard to deal with, man. Just because they're just so big, and they've got guys like McDaniels who can defend on the wing. Anthony Edwards is an elite level defender when he locks in.
They put Ant on Jaren the entire second half.
You can put Anthony Edwards on.
Down.
You can put him on anybody in the league.
It's crazy.
Outside of like your super dominant big man, Anthony Edwards is a hell of a player, bro. And he's, like I said, man, he's of that Michael Jordan, Jimmy Butler ilk to me. Like he's got that old school kind of vibe as far as his mentality is concerned. And tell you, man, like he's easily one of my favorite players outside of the Grizzlies. Like if I was to put my all NBA non-Grizzlies dudes,
like if the Grizzlies would move to Nashville.
Oh, wherever Anthony Edwards playing for. Because my brother lives in Minnesota anyway, so I've always kind of kept an eye on him.
Yeah.
So if the Grizzlies move to Nashville, shit, I'm going with that.
That dude is. I love watching him play.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite players in the league, without a doubt, man. I love the way he talks all the time. Like I love when they catch him saying just wild shit.
He says wild stuff.
He says wild stuff for real.
You know what's funny is what was the movie he was in with Adam Sandler and the Spanish dude?
That shit was good too.
That movie was awesome.
Man, what's the name of that movie, bro?
Anyway, everybody knows.
Was it Rebound? Not Rebound.
No, it was some
basketball.
Some basketball
one-word basketball term.
He played the main antagonist to the main character. And I always thought they kind of like played Anthony Edwards up in that movie like he doesn't. Man, he talks shit just like that dude in that movie.
That's him.
It's wild.
He was good in that part too.
Yeah,
man.
it was fun.
He's definitely one of the future stars of the league. I think that as far as like faces of the league go, you get into that type of conversation. I think guys like him and Ja are gonna stretch out in front of everybody else for sure. And I love to see him hook up. I love to see him get on the same team some type of way. Yeah. And if you're asking me would I trade, yes. Whoever you're about to say, yes, I would trade him for him.
Luke Kennard.
Luke Kennard, yes.
What would you trade Luke Kennard for?
Yes. I don't know, man. You talk about one of the best, one of the best shooters of all time, man.
Yeah,
like
would we trade Luke Kennard
trade that guy
for Ant Edwards, man?
Like how did the Clippers possibly trade Luke Kennard, the greatest shooter of all time?
How do you get rid
of
for
Danny Green in the second round pick?
Come on, man.
How do you possibly move Luke Kennard for that? You know what I mean? Can I have a question for you? I don't want you to speak on behalf of your people, man.
I normally try not to,
because you hate to get lumped into the white demographic.
Well,
all right. Well, here's.
Sometimes we say dumb shit.
Yeah, y'all do say some dumb shit. All right, Kenny. I'm gonna make a statement, and I want you to tell me why it's the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kenny. When it comes down to sports, right? Every race has bias for players that look like them or players that they can relate to, right? If I'm watching golf, when I watched golf as a teenager, I supported Tiger Woods.
Everybody supported Tiger Woods.
But black people did in the whole other way.
Right. Here's the difference. They showed up.
Right, exactly. You saw black people wearing golf stuff and all that type of stuff.
Started wearing Tiger Woods gear everywhere. Yeah.
And we might have came off a train. We might have hit South Memphis for it, but yeah, we had it. Yeah. But go ahead.
No, you're good.
Might hit 3rd Street for the train. But anyway, it happens, right? You know what I mean? Yuta Watanabe is Japanese, right?
Yeah.
So when people in Japan watch the NBA, they have a skewed view of who Yuta Watanabe is, right? And I hate to say Tiger Woods because, like you said, he was a megastar. He was the best in the game, right? But for someone else, we might say, like before Serena and Venus were Serena and Venus, black people would pull for them. And it was just kind of, you had this bias for them, but then they end up being the two greatest players of all time.
Right.
It's kind of hard to do this because black people, we typically dominate all this stuff. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to kind of say we're the underdog,
and
right?
therein lies your answer. So ask your question.
All right. So exactly, bro. I'm
therein
glad you went
lies
there.
Your answer.
I'm glad you went there. All right. But what the point I'm trying to make is, every race in the world, Kenny, has understood and accepted bias. Like, ain't nobody tripping about the bias. Like, that guy's a black guy in a sport where black people normally don't dominate, so I'm pulling for that dude. That's my favorite player, right? Or that black, because it was a time where there weren't many black quarterbacks. So you pull for Randall Cunningham. You pull for Warren Moon, right?
Moon, yeah.
You pull for, what's the guy's name? Philadelphia Eagles quarterback, the other one, Donovan McNabb. You pull for these dudes. Yeah. Steve McNair, all these type of dudes, right? Like you pull for these guys because they're the minority, right? So every other race in the world It's accepted, it's understood that we are biased towards this player because he's black or because he's Indian or because he's Asian or because he's Latino, whatever we're doing, right? Like it happens. Why is it the white people do that just like everybody else does, but y'all never want to own up to that shit, bro? Like if all the weird, like borderline racist stuff that white people do and have no problem doing it, oh no, I'm not gonna be sports biased. Like, bro, like y'all do it. Everybody does it. Like, so why don't white people own up to that?
I'll say this.
Because some of the stuff I heard about Luke Kennard is okay, not only because he's a white guy, because he's a white guy who you feel like your skill set you could be him.
All I could do, Anthony, all I can do is shoot, man.
I never thought I could do what Tiger Woods could do.
All I could do is be on the perimeter, man. So let me live vicariously through my guy.
It's so annoying, man.
Okay, here's my answer to that question. Sometimes we need permission to face the reality of a situation.
But y'all do realize that nobody cares, right? That we get it. Like,
give us the permission to have bias towards our white brethren.
You have it. I say it. I'm looking to the screen right now. White people.
Then the conversation changes on
white
Twitter.
People. If you all want, like, here's the thing, bro. Like the fact that I said this when Luka Doncic was like a thing, right? I was like, white people, you guys are getting excited because you feel like there's about to be a guy from literally from the motherland.
The motherland, Slovenia.
It's about to be y'all guy. Like, y'all should be happy about it. No, man, saying you're racist. Like, it's not even about that, okay? So you explain to me why all of a sudden you turned into John Hollinger of international basketball. Like, you make that make sense to me then. Like, since so you know so much about this guy, right?
Man.
I can't tell you nothing, but what's the black kid who's Sarr, Alexander Sarr, right?
Yeah.
I can't tell you nothing about that dude.
Nah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I feel you.
I can't tell you nothing about him. But like when Luka was coming out of the draft, everybody in the world knew about Luka Doncic. You know, everybody's John Hollinger, right? Everybody's what's the guy's name? Draft Express. Good God. Him. everybody's that guy.
Gavoni? No.
Yeah, everybody's Gavoni,
Jonathan
right?
Gavoni.
Jonathan Gavoni, right? When it came down to Luka all of a sudden. Because there are understood and accepted biases like that, man.
Listen, man, let me just speak. And this is where I don't speak for everybody. So I'm not going to pretend. So, like, I don't want to hear it in the comments. If you don't speak for me, blah, blah. I know I don't. I'm just telling you a large portion of my fellow white brethren that are sports fans, the worst thing that could be implied or that you can be called is a racist.
That's not racist to me, though.
But nobody wants to even have that attached to their name.
But y'all do everything else in the world.
No, that's not true.
Y'all draw the line in sports bias.
Listen, sports dominates the world, man. Infiltrates all cultures, man.
Oh man!
But let me live for Luke.
I'm finna get out this. I'm finna move out this neighborhood so good, so quick. I'm about to break up this whole Shelby County schools thing so fast. Like, hey, y'all thought we about to have unified schools? Oh hell no! Tyler, come on, let's go start this municipal district.
Let's go start Carterville.
Oh, but no, we don't like white basketball players.
Hey.
No, don't get it twisted.
Listen, man.
Don't get it mistaken. Come on now.
Hey, we pick and choose our battles.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I'm just talking. I'm just messing around.
Oh, man.
It is funny, though.
Y'all got Tiger basketball out the Coliseum so quick?
Hey, it is funny, though.
Oh, it's Space Downtown. Oh, get us out of here.
Hey.
Get us out of the mound. Oh, but we don't root for white players, though. No, we don't do that. But no, man, it's crazy because, like, I see people, and they've got these super emotional. I got people mad at me on Twitter, right, about the whole Luke Canard thing. And it's just.
That's a Tuesday for you, man.
It's nonsense, bro. I'm like, bro, like, I'm making this comment because Luke Canard is the 5th guard in our lineup next year when we're healthy, right?
Right.
And, like, that's undeniable.
Except for, I would say this. And me and you actually, just behind the fourth wall, we're talking about this in the car on the way.
We were riding together. You in your car, I was in mine.
No, we weren't riding together. Right. We were on the phone. And it was probably one of the better segments we ever had. We could do this on the podcast. But it is wild to me that in the day and age in which we, exist in NBA basketball right now, every team wants a shooter. Everybody wants shooting. And this guy, Luke Kennard, whether he be white, whether he be black, or whether he be Asian, like Zach
He's
Edey,
an elite level.
He's an elite level.
Oh, man, Daniel
shooter.
Greer just been catching strays, man. Daniel's just having a hard time. He lost Zach Edey last night, man. He found out Zach Edey wasn't white, and it just bothered him.
Like,
Go
I
ahead.
wanted to be like, Anthony, Daniel, just look at his face, bro. Like, what are we talking about? He ain't white. Man, like, what you talking about? Anyway. But, like, it's wild that the Grizzlies would have, percentage-wise, one of the top 3 shooters in the entire NBA and not do everything they could possibly do to re-sign him. But I am of the ilk of you can't pay the man what he's worth because his usage rate, he is literally a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
And that's that he can shoot.
He takes about 6 threes a game, makes a little bit more than 2.5 of them, shooting about 40-something% from 3. He's one of the best shooters in the league, period. But that's all subjective, man. It's subjective because it's like, yes, shooting is at a premium. But what you want is a really good basketball player
You need a
who
basketball player.
can shoot the ball.
Especially one that's going to demand $15 million on the open market.
Klay Thompson and Steph Curry were
Right.
2 of the best shooters of all time, but they weren't just dudes where all they can do is shoot the basketball.
That's not all they can do.
Like, they were 2 great basketball players who could shoot the hell out of the ball.
Klay was an amazing defender.
Right.
When he was in his prime, was one of the best on-ball defenders in the game.
Right. And he's extremely good at coming off the screens, extremely good as far as getting off a shot in space.
Right.
And didn't need much space to get his shot off. Those type of things matter, man. And yes,
We can't even get Luke to shoot more than 6 3-pointers a game.
and I had a guy telling me on Twitter, like, oh man, you know, he can dribble the ball, he's a playmaker, he played point guard for Detroit. He can do more than what we're seeing. I'm like, man,
Do it.
this is the roster.
This
you
is the
do that
time
on.
for you to be doing
Yeah.
it. Show us.
Yeah.
Like, we're seeing, as an example, we're seeing Jaren take steps that we're like,
Oh, shit.
we don't want to see him playing with the G League Hustle team,
Yeah.
right? Like, we don't want to see him playing with the Hustle guys. But he is showing things right now that makes you go, oh, damn, okay. Like, when
you can't double team Jaren next year,
when you
he's
can't-
gonna be going crazy.
when he can't be double teamed and be triple teamed and be like the entire focus is on him, what's this going to look like?
Right.
You're not seeing that with Luke, man. That's the problem.
Right.
He's still doing the exact same thing he
Right.
does when the roster is fully loaded and they're at complete health.
Right.
It's crazy.
And I can make that statement without acknowledging the fact that he's white. Like, I don't give a shit about that, man.
No.
Like, it really kind of ticks me off, man, because like I said, people will hide their bias and then call me racist. Like, what? like I ain't said nothing about the dude being white, man. It's just he's the most. You're not gonna get, if you're gonna get a starter level center, he's gonna make somewhere between $12 and $20 million a year. Like any starting level center in the NBA, he's making somewhere between $12 and $20 million a year, right?
Yep.
Except you got your guys like who could be a candidate like I've totally forgot his name. Chicago Bulls.
Drummond,
right? He's a guy
You
who
get
might
him for
make,
less than that,
You get him
right?
for less than that, right? But most
Right.
of the guys in the league, if he's going to be your starting center, that James Wiseman is making $12 million a year. Bro.
crazy.
You know what I mean? Like most centers in the league are going to be making somewhere between 12, 15, 18, $20 million a year, right? So in order for you to get a guy like that on your roster, it's going to take a trade, or you do a signing trade, it's going to take a trade, right?
You're going to have to free up.
You're gonna have to free up somebody,
and you got a fifth best guard on your team.
right? You got 3 guys on your roster to kind of meet their qualifications: Brandon Clark, Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard. If you're talking about getting a starting level center and you're trading for him, you're moving one of those 3 guys. Breaking news: no team is gonna take Jake LaRavia. I don't even know who we got left. Zaire,
Right.
and Canard. Like, you can't take, 3 times 6 equals 18. Give me your $18 million center. Like, that's not how it's gonna go down. Even if it's a sign and trade.
Ain't nobody taking 3 guys back
Yeah.
from a sign. No, come on.
And it's gonna, I'm telling you, man, like if they're making a deal, it's not gonna be Marcus Smart. It's not gonna be Brandon Clark, more than likely. And I think the most likely candidate is Luke Kennard. Now, does that mean I think Luke Kennard sucks? No.
No. But again,
But you're probably gonna trade Luke Kennard this summer.
the vision that folks have of what Luke Kennard could look like with Ja, with Desmond, with all these guys, we want him to look like that. And honestly, I'd be willing to pay the $15 million if he was to reach
that guy.
that vision, right, of what he could look like.
Yeah.
But when they're out there, or when he's out there with the hustle, he still is doing the same thing.
He's the
6
exact same
3-pointers a
dude.
game, 2.5 makes a game, and you just can't get. I mean,
Right.
come on, man.
Now, and this is what people are saying, and this is what people are saying a lot, like, well, I want to see him with Ja, right? And one dude was like, man, when he was playing with the Lakers in that Lakers series, the minutes he played with Ja, they were crushing the Lakers. Yeah, because he was making a bunch of shots.
Right.
On defense, he was getting cooked. He was making a bunch of shots, so that's cool. But if he's not making a bunch of shots, like, what do you have? And why would I want to see it? Why would I want to see a lineup with Ja Morant and Luke Kennard as my backcourt?
As your on-ball defenders for the in the playoffs.
Right. And to effectively play Luke where you can hide him, you can play a lineup with John Morant in it because you can hide him. You can hide him. You can put John in the lineup. This guy, Desmond Bain,
and who's
an average to good defender.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart. Not Gigi Jackson. Gigi, you can put Gigi out there too. You can put Vince Williams out there.
Jaren out there.
You can put those type of lineups out there where you surround those guys or Brandon Clark, whatever. You could totally hide John Morant. You could do the same thing with Luke Kennard. You can have Marcus Smart at the 1, Canard at the 2, Vince Williams at the 3, or Gigi at the 3, and you could totally hide Luke Kennard, right? But if I got Luke and Ja on the court at the same time,
it ain't happening, man.
He ain't hiding nobody.
No.
It's gonna be a deficiency, and I get it. He's one of the better shooters you've ever seen. But that guy's only good if you can actually fit him into your rotation. If offensively and defensively he makes sense.
And at the beginning of the year, he wasn't making shots, so he was virtually unplayable.
But you remember when we had Troy Daniels here?
Yes.
Troy Daniels was one of the best shooters that have ever stepped in the NBA. Out of the league because there's nothing else he could do. The kid who got in trouble for like the domestic stuff, Brian Forbes. Incredible shooter.
Yeah.
The kid that plays for Cleveland came through here. BYU type dude. No, BYU type dude.
Oh, Sam Merrill.
Sam Merrill's probably going to play for somebody else next year. He probably ain't going to be in Cleveland.
Right.
Elite levels. Joe Harris. Who does he play for?
I don't even know. Does he play for – he's not Brooklyn anymore, is he?
No, he got cut. Ain't nobody picked him up, I think.
He got traded?
I think it got traded and then bought out. A trade and cut and then nobody get him.
Oh, wow. Bet one of the better 6'8". He's a 6'8" shooter.
You got to be able to do some stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's why these guys that go to Miami, those shooters they have, those dudes can do more than just shoot the ball. They're going to defend like hell, and they can knock down threes when you need them to. Yeah. They can stay on the court. Max Struss.
Duncan Robinson.
Those dudes can do other stuff. And then they're 6'8", 6'9".
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I think Luke's a great player, man, but I'm not going to act like he's untradeable. He's not, man. And people are like, well, you couldn't get anything for him anyway. What? What?
One of the better shooters in the league?
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
And there's a reason why Luke has played for 4 or 5 different teams in his career, man. Like there's a reason why he's done it. You know what I mean? So there's a reason why you got him for Danny Green, the 2nd round pick, because the Clippers were like, all right, I don't know what to do with Luke.
What do we do with him?
I don't know what to do with him. And I'm not sitting.
And that's with a team with Kawhi and Paul.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit Paul George so I can get Luke Kennard on the court or whatever I need to do. Like
right.
And like you've got. In that team, same type of thing. You had Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, end up getting Russell Westbrook. You got Norman Powell on that team. You had the kid, Evil. You had Evil Tyrese Maxey on that team.
Terrence Mann.
Right, you got him. You got the other kid you got from Denver. Evil Vince Williams.
Evil Vince Williams from Denver.
He's from VCU. He played with Vince Williams. I heard them two dudes do not like each other, too.
Oh, really?
What's his name, man?
Who was that? God.
Bones Highland.
Oh, Bones.
So it's like, okay, what do I do with Luke, man? He's one of the better shooters in the NBA, but the Clippers are like, okay, what do I do with Luke? But guess what? They're fine. And they're probably they're one of the best teams in the NBA. And they traded Luke Kennard to us for Danny Green. You know what I mean? So it happens, man. Those kind of guys, no matter how good of a shooter they are, teams often don't know what to do with them or really know how to use those guys because it's hard to keep them on the court because somebody's got to hide their deficiencies on defense.
Which is why you'll look up in a few years and see that Luke has probably played for every team in the NBA.
He'll be in the league forever.
He'll be in the league forever.
Forever because he can flat out shoot the ball. And whenever Luke Kennard is on the court, you're stealing those minutes. You're cheating those minutes because he's not a solid both ends of the court player. So and that's not just him. It's a lot of guys on this team that you're stealing minutes when he's on the court. And I'd rather not do that. I'd rather just play Vince Williams. I'd rather play Desmond Bain. I'd rather play Ja. I'd rather play Desmond Bain. I'd rather play Vince Williams. You know, whatever I say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather see those guys on the court than Luke. And I think that doesn't mean he's a bad player. He's a very good player. But if it means the difference between getting the center and not getting the center,
you go get the center, man.
I'll meet you at Wilson Air, my guy. We're going to get you the hell up out of here. But I'm about to get up out of here, man, because my man Jason Smith is in the building today.
We got the man in the house today,
Jason, I know it's going to be some heat, man. I know it's going to be some good stuff coming from my man Jason Smith. We're going to talk about this Tiger basketball stuff. Everybody been saying this and that and the other. Let me bring one of the OGs, a man who covered Tiger basketball as a beat writer. And he on that I don't give a shit side now because he just gets on radio. He's a talking head. Giving commentary, getting the analyses, getting this shit off. He ain't answering to no goddamn beat writer rules no more. But he can speak on both sides of it, man. So I want to get Jason in. So I know he's going to shed some light on this Penny Hardaway situation, University of Memphis situation. What it's like being a brother covering a brother from the same city you grew up in. Used to be one of your heroes. I want to hear what you got to say about that. You're going to see that and more here on the Anthony Sain Show. See you guys in a minute.
Zaire and Jake is definitely a hard sell. But what happens here is the Pistons, who have no intention of winning games, clearly, I don't know, have they won their third yet? I'm sure they have. They are not in a position to compete, so they're just going to build up assets. And so what you do is you attach picks to that, and then you send it over, and then they see if maybe they can get something out of Zaire or Jake, whoever they might take. But the real return for them is the picks, right? Just like when we traded for Iguodala, the return was for picks. We didn't want Iguodala. He clearly didn't want us. So we just got picks out of it. It'd be the same thing for a Detroit or for another team in that scenario. So Grizzlies get off of the contracts. Then the Pistons, in this situation is what's been rumored, get some assets out of it. And then potentially you get a reclamation project that actually works out, which does happen every once in a while. Lauri Markkanen, once upon a time, was a very disappointing draft pick. Not very disappointing, but disappointing, at least a little bit.
Tune in to the Grizz 901 postgame show, live after every Grizzlies game on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Woo! It has been quite the break.
I like that Vince McMahon meme where it's like,
yeah,
that's me right now.
Holy
it, dude.
Toledo. TJ, we can't have 10% beers when we eat dinner at 5 o'clock and record at 11. Oh.
So I'm still waiting for Bada to get back with this there.
Dear God.
So. Did you have any hard-hitting questions?
That'd be great. Great.
We got the commercial break.
Supposedly there's a video of Drake going around the internet, and Kenny just sent me a still shot. It's going to take a minute to recover from that.
That's what she said.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Time for the sit down with Sain. Had my original guest in the building, man. We talked about that today, Kennedy. Jason Smith was our first guest on the show. He's back here for episode, I think this is 72, 73, something like that. Jason Smith of the Jason and John Show. My friend, my brother, my mentor in the game, Jason Smith, is in the building. Jason, what's going on, bro?
Brother, you know it's an absolute pleasure to join you on anything I can do. Mm-hmm. Man, remember when we had the Grizz podcast going there for a while?
You know, I remember. We were killing them on that, too.
And you know we love having you on every Friday on the Jason and John Show. So you've been a big part of what we do. And anytime you got something, I'm going to be right here. So
man.
I'm humbled and appreciative that I'm here, brother.
You opened up many doors in my life for me.
Man, stop. You kicked them doors in yourself.
I did. But you did show me the weak spots in the door. I said, hey, kick it right there, man. Kick it right there. It's going to split, man. I'm telling you, it's going to split. But yeah, my guy Jason Smith in the building, man. Not many people in this industry I call my friend at all. But, brother, you another notch up. I look at you like a brother for sure. Our kids are very good friends, probably best friends at one point. They are not as close as they used to be. Still super good friends, Gabe and CJ. Gabe's mom had a birthday party invite for Gabe, right? And gave me this short list of kids. I said, no, I'm going to tell you your name. You definitely finna make some adjustments because my boy CJ is going to be in the building. But, yeah, man, last weekend, man, we're going to start off here. Last weekend, I was honored to go watch my boy CJ play in the cross-check league playoffs. And CJ's team won their game. I stayed after because the team after we joked about this on the last show, Kenny. It was the CBHS developmental team.
The developmental team.
Literally.
Future Purple Waves.
Right. This the schools that are the feeder schools for CBHS had this combined team. And their developmental team, the CBHS Ignite, were out there. And that's those are kids from Gabe's school. They're out there playing. Gabe isn't on the big team, you know what I mean? So that team was playing against Briarcrest. And they played against this kid, Kenny, that I'm going to take you back a year ago so the story makes sense, Kenny. We were playing against Gabe's football team was playing against Briarcrest, right? And there's this quarterback. He had floppy blonde hair. He looked like probably, it's hard to gauge height for little kids, right? So he's probably like 5 feet tall, 5'2", something like that. But the kid looked like the equivalent of what a 6'5" quarterback would be if he was an adult.
Absolutely.
Right? Tall, slender kid, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, this kid is
already defined a little bit in the arms.
Oh, no.
Good footwork, Kenny, like leading passes. Like, most times with a kid, they can make two passes. They can make a mild slant or they could throw a deep ball or something like that. Yeah. This kid was like leading receivers and
beaming folks.
Like hitting them, right?
Like dotting them
right.
up.
So I'm like, man, this is the coldest little kid I've ever seen in my life, right? I'm like, that kid has to be the son of the quarterback. So I go to the coach after the game. I said, Jack's got to be your son. He said, yeah. I said, you got a hell of a player, man. And I went on about my business. So I go to this game, right?
Same kid back.
Freaking Joe Montana is Luka Doncic now. He plays for Briarcrest. And this kid is freaking awesome, bro. Like, I mean, he can do everything. He can shoot. Yep. He's throwing, like, full court passes, like beaming, hitting kids on the sprint, right, on the fast break. I'm like, dude, this dude is 9. Like, how is he doing it? You know what I mean?
That's
so, like,
crazy.
Right, like, this is the coldest little kid I ever seen, bro. You know what I mean? Like, in football and in basketball, I'll be honest with you. But CJ and them, got on his ass. Got Luka up out here. Come sit your ass down.
I got to be honest with you. Hopefully, CJ never sees this, but he broke CJ's ankles. CJ, this your number one. This player that you're talking about plays quarterback, plays point guard for that team.
Luka,
man, broke Chris's legs. Thankfully, the young man was able to pull himself back together, and we were able to get the win. It was fun.
The big dog win.
Yeah, ended up beating Briarcrest.
Cross-check champions. New Hope.
Yeah,
New Hope Christian Academy.
Small private school in Fraser.
Yes,
how much fun is it for you guys to see y'all's boys growing up playing ball, getting better at it, just loving the game, loving getting out there and playing? Has it just been a blast seeing that?
It's been fun. Gabe is Gabe is a chubby kid, right? So there's certain things Gabe just can't do, and one of them is like going up and down the court over and over again. Like, he struggles with that type of stuff, right? And sometimes you'll see Gabe, like, he'll play hard defense. Then he'll get down court and run. He don't get the ball, and the guy might turn the ball over or throw it away or a bad pass. And Gabe like, look, man, shit. Like, running up down the court ain't the easiest shit in the world for me, man. Y'all got to feed me, man. Shit. Like, and you can tell he's frustrated. He's like, dude, I just ran all the way up and down this court for nothing. But he used to kind of like.
You got to feed the big man. You got to reward the big man,
man. But now it's like he can kind of do it now. He can kind of go up and down the court without stopping. So. Shout out to Gabe.
I think the thing that struck me about watching our boys grow up and play sports, they've both been in martial arts together as well, is just how much how much they can absorb and do without, I don't know, it's this composure that our kids have to be able to do these things. The point I was making, this season, 4th grade season for my kid, I'm a wreck at every game. It's supposed to be us as parents leading the children. Oh my God. But we're going crazy on the sidelines, and yet this team of 9 and 10-year-olds is keeping their composure and everything else. And I guess I'm saying that to say, man, our kids, man, no matter what we've thrown at them, they've been successful and done well with and been ready to eat up more, man. And that's a joy as a father to see.
For sure, man, for sure.
Man, they survived COVID, man.
Oh, yeah.
Man. You know what I'm saying?
They survived,
exactly.
Sitting in school talking to an iPad. That's what these kids overcame. So, yeah, they're definitely super strong kids, man. Shout out to CJ. Shout out to Gabe for sure. But I wanted to bring you on today, Smith, because there's a lot of shit going on, man. There's a lot of shit going on out here. I said, let me bring some wisdom in the room, man. Somebody can speak from so many sides of the table about all the things that are going on. We're gonna talk some Tiger basketball stuff. Okay. We're gonna talk some off the court stuff, and we're gonna talk about what's it like being a black man in Memphis sports media. We're going to talk about all those things today. Tiger basketball. Let's go ahead and get to the good part first, right? Okay, me and you are both about the same age. We're both Memphians. We grew up here, born and raised. And we're both black men, right?
Yep.
And with that being said, we both understand the responsibility of all the things we just said. Being from here, being men, being black men, being fathers, all those type of things, being from the city, we understand the responsibility that comes with all those things. And like I remember like the COVID year for the Tigers, the year where they had the COVID situation where they had to cancel the UT game and all these different things. And Imani Bates, just got almost a nightmare season when you think about all the things that were going on that year. And I just remember being like fairly critical of Penny Hardaway, right? And that was my first time ever doing it. Like anytime in the past, I was always kind of like protective of Penny or not really saying too much about him or, giving him leeway or all these type of things. But I had a radio show at the time, and that was the first time I was ever critical of Penny, right? Just fairly, not sure. Like just being honest about what I was seeing, right? And man, I just remember like getting destroyed by black people, right? Like getting destroyed on Twitter, my DM, Facebook. I remember black people really being disappointed in me, right? And I was every coon, sellout, everything in the book, right? So, and the thing that trips me out about it is that, like I joke on Twitter all the time how it's like I'm not going to criticize Penny, right? Like it's hard. It's hard to criticize him, and all the time it's not even worth it because you get these ignorant type of responses from people. When you give fair, equal criticism about Penny, this even still guarded because if it was somebody else, I'd be tearing their ass up. You know what I mean? So, but because it is Penny, I'm not over the top with it. But to all that, I said this to this guy one time. I said, my brother. I said just like this. Of course, I understand what comes with being a black person in this city, covering a black coach who also happened to be my hero, right? I understand what comes with it. But you tell me, like, does Penny not play a part of it? Like, because there's what he's. I'm not talking about X's and O's. I'm not talking about basketball stuff. I'm talking about the stuff that just makes the season not be a normal ass college basketball season. Like, how much do you think we have to play a part in protecting the guy that we all want to see him do well?
Well, you know I think it comes down to fairness, Sain. I mean, that's what it's about. Yes, it's a responsibility to protect Penny as a black man, or certainly protect him from some of those comments you talking about you got back.
Because you'll get the weird shit when it comes down to Penny. Like we all know that. And you get racially charged things that you know are coming at him. But it's almost at the point where we can't say anything about it.
Well, I mean, to me, insults about the man himself or racist remarks or whatever are completely separate from the conversation of Penny as a basketball coach. And the problem is, it kind of all gets put in the same box.
Yeah.
I think you just have to be fair, Sain. I realize that it is a unique situation where you've got a program hero that's come back, black coach in that spot. So it's a unique situation. But in the end, whether it's a Penny Hardaway or a Josh Pastner, it's about results. And Penny Hardaway asked for this job, and one thing that comes with this job is the ultimate scrutiny. It's covered like a pro team and has been for years. And so ultimately it's the results. Penny Hardaway knew when he took the job that, hey, criticism could come. Some of it could go to a level that becomes personal and nasty. That's never acceptable. Don't get me wrong, but it is absolutely frankly, it's a part of everything in 2024, sort of being judged that way. But as far as Penny is concerned, man, I think ultimately he's had 6 years now, and you're getting to a point where that's 3 times as long as what Tubby got here. And so in the end, I don't think it's necessarily about Penny the man or protecting him. It becomes about whether or not Penny Hardaway can do the job. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately we're at a point now where I think we're starting to question that in a way that last year had convinced us, no, looks like a good coach. Now, the thing with Malcolm Dandridge, the investigation there, the fact that you're on probation, things that just need tightening up that haven't been. Yeah. Penny's given some reason, to draw in the criticism.
It's like after you get over the hump of winning the conference tournament, beating Houston, those type of things. Yeah. And then you had what probably should have been a better tournament run, but you could also look at it and say, hey, if the ball bounced a little different, a little better.
Oh, they got a bad call.
You could have made your run in the tournament,
most
right?
Definitely.
And then you put in this
he was
great
right there, son.
Right. Then you get this great class this year of older guys, which you thought was the formula, which is the formula for a successful college basketball team. You get that, you're top 10 in the country, you ran off, I think, 10 games in a row. And then it's like for it to turn into what this season and turn into on the court, And then you got these off-court rumblings, and you're hearing more things that are being rumored. It's like, man, it's hard to, like, brother, help me, help you. I want to protect. I want to be the guy that's like, okay, yeah, man, y'all got Penny messed up. And I've been that guy for forever, for the most part. But it's like, brother, you play a part in us protecting you too, though, man.
Like, I mean, on what you're saying here, did we protect Tubby? Or did we call it like it is?
Because we wanted Penny in there so bad.
But did Tubby, to your point about black man, did he deserve a sort of protection
He probably did.
And
I don't know, because Tubby was on some other shit too. But
Tubby was a bad fit in the sense that he was telling Memphis what the expectation should be. Memphis fans and the donors have set the expectation level by how much they've invested in everything else. So when Tubby is telling you we were picked 5th and finished 5th, y'all should be okay with that. We knew it. Not here at Memphis. But back to the point, Tubby ultimately, as much as when he was hired, we said, man, Memphis got a black coach. That's important around here. Remember, I remember you writing about that, and it was. But in the end, ultimately, whether you want to protect him or not, you're going to be judged on those results. But Tubby was a Hall of Famer that absolutely probably deserved more time. Yeah. But in this instance, the fans have made their decision. The results on the court weren't good. The recruiting, that's a whole nother story about how poor it was. And so in the end, man, whether you're black, whether you're a program hero or not, if you're in that Memphis job, you're going to be judged by what happens on the court. So as much as we'd love to hold on to our hero or believe saying that he can get this job done, and I still think Penny can pull it out of the fire.
For sure.
Ultimately, it's on those results when you step up into that seat and not that skin color.
It's tough because I'm glad to bring you on because I know there's something we definitely can talk about because it's just hard, man. Like and especially we joked about this before the show started where we're in this journalism media role, but it's like we're not like print. We're not. When you do radio and I do podcasts, so it's
totally out of print now. Man.
Like we're out of the news breaking game, and there's certain like rules we don't have to follow. Like so, it's like we can sit back and look at this stuff and have a totally different opinion on it. Or I can tell you, nah, man, I'm not for the bad talk opinion. Like for what? Like this, you know what I mean? Like we have the liberty to say those type of things and to say, yeah, that's freaking Penny Hardaway. He's black. He's a man. He's from Memphis.
I'm going to protect him. I want to see their brothers.
Yeah,
part of why I root for
exactly,
him so
bro.
hard.
Like so, it's tough for sure, man. And I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable spot, but I just knew that you could speak wisely on that topic for sure, man. The news, the pending investigation involving Malcolm Dandridge, not a lot of transparency is out there about it, not a lot of clarity is about it, so we're all kind of a wait and see mode about something we feel is ultimately going to come out, whatever. Bluff City Media, the company that produces this show, company that produces all these shows, 2 young writers, Roman Cleary and Hitman Hoops. Well, you know this brother's name, right? So these guys came out, they broke the story about Malcolm Dandridge, whatever, and then you get the expected reactions of I'm going to wait until actual whatever media company comes out, and I was ticked off about it because in any typical situation, right, if the commercial appeal breaks something, the Daily Memphian comes like right behind, like I confirmed it. Shout out to commercial appeal, right? Or the other way around.
Or they're doing the same thing to a national story.
Right, exactly. They'll confirm a national story, right? It bothered me that Bluff City Media put this story out, and they saw people like, oh, that's crap. Who is Bluff City Media? All these type of things, and then you waited, and then when you put it out, you also allowed time for just more details to come out or whatever, and so you put your story out, but you allowed them to be discredited for 24, 48 hours before you dropped the confirmation on that story. And then, people came out and said what they had to say, did what they had to do. You came out on your show and said, hey, talk y'all ass off. Y'all got scooped by some kids when y'all done.
and way out in front.
Yeah, way out in front, man. And it's and like I said, that's one of the things we can do now because you were a University of Memphis beat writer.
Yeah, I was in those shoes.
You've done the job.
Worrying about getting beat.
Right. And man, you got beat. I sat in this seat before. Like I've seen this type of stuff, you know what I mean? Because you were the beat writer when John Martin was the young
John had Brooks over
All
at,
these dudes out here.
Roar, and then 247 occasionally have some. Grant Milner at I think was he was with Brooks, but then was working at Channel 3 as an intern.
I want to say
those
you might have
guys-
got a little bit of Leon Taylor and things like that.
Maybe a little bit. I will say it's not what it is today because there was no daily Memphian, so you didn't have that guy maybe every day that was on you. But there's always been a competition level on that beat. And man, Bluff City Media, y'all deserve all the credit in the world.
Don't put me in the pen. It ain't me.
I thought it was.
Go ahead, bro.
I really thought it was wrong of the way that, much like you said, they didn't give Bluff City Media the credit for breaking the story first, like you would have if a national had beat you. And why is that? Because you don't want to give it any credibility. You don't want to give. This is from my view. This is my opinion. You feel like you don't want to give the new guy on the block the credibility to say, okay, he's breaking stories. They're this far ahead of us. Well, what's that say of us on the news tip? Sure, we can do a great job of analysis, but if Bluff City Media is breaking news, brother, they're tuning out from me. Right. And so listen, there's a fierce competition level on that Memphis Tigers basketball beat now with Parth and with Jason Munns. And Bluff City Media kicks in the door with a story that who knows how deep it could run.
What do we don't even know who he is?
Your job as beat writer is to have that story. And I know being first, and this was used a lot, still matters. They would tell you being thorough and getting it right does. That ultimately getting it right does.
when you ain't first.
But bro, when you're a day ahead of everybody else, man, you can't do anything but tip your cap to that. And again, the reason that it felt like it took that long is because those folks were so far behind on the story. And so listen, they've broken stories before and we've given them credit for it. I think Bluff City Media has established itself as not just a newsbreaker, but a legit media organization that folks need to be paying attention to.
Yeah, man.
That was more evidence of it breaking the story.
Shout out, man. I'm glad y'all paying attention at home, man, to the Anthony Sain Show. But Penny, if you're watching, hey, had nothing to do with them white boys on. Had nothing to do with me. I ride with you, Penny.
Hey, man, I put you in a bad position.
Hey, when you on that bullshit, Penny, I'm going to say, hey, Penny, you're bullshitting right now. But, hey, I ain't put your business at this. Kenny Stubblefield,
hey,
the man, you can't see him on screen, but that's him. Roman Cleary is a sophomore in Memphis, I believe.
Hey, man, you putting everybody's business.
Shout out to Roman Cleary.
Shout out to Roman Cleary.
Shout out to Roman, man. Go easy on Roman, man, for sure. Go easy on him.
That's
Penny.
our guy, man.
He's an alum.
Great job
Not an
with that
alum, but
story.
he's a student, man. And Hitman Hoops. You call me, Penny. I'll tell you exactly who he is. Where you can find him.
Oh, no.
Man, Jason, talk to him, man. We need to go. Let's take a break real quick.
You
Oh,
gotta
man.
let Sain get it out. You know that.
Speaking of kids, man, Gabe is texting me, asking me, Dad, what do I get from the Waffle House?
Get that little hash brown bowl.
All-Star specials.
Man, you get the ham.
I'm texting Gabe back live on the show that you get the All-Star special, son. But yeah. What was I talking about? Yeah, but shout out to Roman and them, man. Roman Cleary, Hitman Hoops, and Kenny Stubblefield are the names, Penny.
Relax, bro. Relax. Hey, man.
It ain't me, man. It ain't me. All right, on the court, Tiger basketball.
Yep.
Got a game tonight against
East Carolina.
East Carolina.
East Carolina. There it is. I care so much at the beginning of the year. So if I told you, I said, man, I'm going to be so locked in this year, Kenny. Smith, I'm going to be so locked in. I tried. It started getting weird, man.
That ended pretty quickly, man.
Yeah, I had to get off the ship, man. It started getting weird. I had to go. But, on the court, like, even with all that joking about what I just said, like, Memphis is still top talented team in the conference. They're not one, they're two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you be shocked to see them? I don't really care if they went out, but I would not be surprised to see this team go in the tournament, 4 games in 4 nights, win the thing.
They have the talent to do so. It's never been done at Memphis. It's hard. That 2005 team with Darius Washington was trying to do it, needed to win the conference tournament to make the NCAA tournament. Darius Washington misses the free throws, but that was 4 in 4 days. You've got this situation now. Josh's team back in, it was 2011, ended up winning 3 games, 3 days in a spot where they had to beat UTEP and Culpeper and them. So, but you've not had the 4 in 4 days. Yeah, Memphis is talented enough. There's no question about it, but especially when you consider the fact that there's a good chance, it feels like Malcolm Dandridge not going to play against East Carolina. If you don't have him the rest of the season, it does leave you extremely thin in the front court. And so making this run, running the table the rest of the regular season, winning what we think probably going to be 4 games in 4 days, you're going to probably have to do it with about like 6 guys.
Yeah.
Penny, he's tightened up the rotation, at least against Florida Atlantic. He did. Part of that out of necessity, you don't have Malco. I feel like it's going to have to be that way the rest of the way.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have to ride with the David Joneses, the guys that have, that you know who can produce, and really let that be the end-all, be-all. So back to the point, it's going to be tough, Sain. Making the tournament, trying to win 4 in 4 days, still a slight possibility, I suppose, for an at-large if they finish the regular season undefeated, go to the championship game, although I'm not holding out much hope for that. It's going to be hard, which makes this season so much more frustrating when you consider where they were, you know, as late as January. Number 10 in the country, 15-2, like you said, how close Penny was to what it felt like was like a top 4 seed. And now we're talking about the possibility of not even making the tournament. It's hard to wrap your mind around.
I'm gonna put you in Penny Hardaway's shoes, but we're gonna do on the court stuff. I ain't gonna put you in his shoes for off the court stuff. If you're Coach Penny Hardaway, with the guys that that's another thing too, man, with this transfer portal stuff, NIL, I don't know what class guys are in.
How much more time they got?
I don't know. Like, I don't know who's a senior. I don't know who's a junior. I don't know who's got COVID. I don't know.
The fact that David Jones has another year. What?
Like I don't know.
Schools does he play?
Right, exactly.
It's hard to keep track.
Right. I don't know. I'm thinking all these dudes are like 5th year seniors, but I'm seeing now that they're not.
Even Caleb Mills.
Yeah, Caleb Mills. Like,
going after a waiver right now.
Yeah,
so he could come back next year.
I saw that. Okay, with that being said, I joked about Penny being like Doctor Strange, right? Where it's like, I don't know if you know the Marvel movies where Doctor Strange like goes to extreme measures. Like he goes back in time, or he's just started going crazy in his last movie. Like I can fix this, and okay, well let me go back here and let me fix this, or like kind of like a butterfly effect type thing with Penny, right? So if you're Penny, how do you build next year's roster?
Well, it's going to be difficult one way or the other because you're going to have so many holes to fill. Again, I think you have to start with the possibility of whether or not you can keep David Jones. David Jones is obviously going to have some professional opportunities. The question is, does he have professional opportunities that can rival in terms of financially what you could offer him from an NIL standpoint? Couldn't you offer David Jones $500,000 if you're Penny Hardaway in NIL? You know, this season, how it finishes could help determine that, how much you're going to have in those NIL coffers. But I'm not. If I'm Penny Hardaway, I'm not trying to replace another 9-10 guys, Sain. It's a recipe for disaster, just like we just saw. So you're trying to keep the pieces that you know. David Jones would be one. Again, what's it going to look like for him? The good thing for them, it doesn't seem like he's got a ton of traction. Like you don't see him on mock drafts or anything. That said, we saw Lester Quinones decide, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and go the hard route. And it's worked for him. And so there's a good possibility David Jones, even if you can offer him that money, doesn't come back. You asked me how to do it. I start there. And I'm trying really to fill as few holes as possible to keep as much as I can. I think Jourdain's got another year of eligibility. We'll see on whether or not Caleb Mills can get another one through a waiver or whatever else. But trying to keep as much of this as possible. And then saying it's incredibly important. They got to get some multiple-year transfers. And then I think they got to get some more Memphis back in there, man. You know, Jonathan Lawson was a guy that you recruited out of high school, you brought in, and you hoped that as a Memphis kid, right, just like Penny, that Jonathan Lawson could be in your program for a while. And then by the time he's a sophomore or a junior, that's starting to pay off, but it didn't. You saw him transfer after 2 seasons. I think Penny was talking about the care factor this year. Guys look like maybe they only care about NIL. They don't care so much about Memphis basketball and the way we play around here. Dude, what is so clear about this roster is there ain't much Memphis on it. Malcolm Dandridge is one of those guys. Jaden Hardaway didn't even grow up here. Did play for his father at East that last year, but he's not. If you want folks to care about Memphis basketball when you're giving those fiery speeches about we don't play like this around here, it just feels like you've got to have some more Memphis in there. So in all of that, in that formula, got to have fewer holes to fill. I think get a little bit more Memphis back on the roster because the Alex Lomaxes and the Tyler Harrises, one thing you knew about them, they cared, bro. You never had to worry about effort with those guys. And, yes, you've got to still find those transfer portal guys, but it's got to be right fit. And now it just felt like Penny swung. You know, you fall in love with Kendrick Davis, you know, a guy who comes in as a one-year guy, experienced guy. DeAndre Williams, one of those. And you said, man, now I'm going to go experience. Forget them Imani Bates and all those freshmen. I'm going to do it this way. And I just think he swung a little too far in that direction. You got to come back to the middle and find that, find that balance.
Let me ask you this. I'm glad you said that because it literally led up to my next question, the way you ended that. Local high school basketball here. What's the temperature for – because you get guys like Matthew Morrell.
Sure. He passed on Matthew.
Billy Richmond III.
He tried to get him.
Right. What I'm saying is Memphis was always good for, like, we always were point guard city, right? You would always get your 6'1", 6'2", And now it seems like everybody who there's like if I look at these guys who they're saying the top players in the city,
Yeah.
they're all little bitty guards, like 5'10", 5'11". And it's like you're not seeing the names coming out of Memphis as far as D1 players. I may be totally wrong.
Well,
you might have a different heartbeat for it than I do.
I mean, Curtis Givens III has got the size you're
Right.
talking about, and that was a guy, point guard, that Penny Hardaway went after. Kennedy Chandler was on the smaller side, but was athletic enough
Right.
that was a guy that, frankly, you should have went all the way. You know, should have tried to get. Obviously, Tennessee. He goes to Tennessee. Penny kind of backs off. But I thought that was one there because, again, remember that Kennedy Chandler season, you got Imani Bates trying to play point guard.
Right.
And, again, there have been those guards coming through, and I tell you the next generation of them is going to be a kid who's enrolling in the 9th grade next year in Braylon Williams, who's already like 6'1", 6'2". So they're still coming, saying, what I tell you is Penny's got to start getting them there.
Yeah.
And, again, you decided, okay, I'm going to lay off Kennedy Chandler. We'll give Tennessee that one. You did go after Curtis Givens III. You missed. LSU comes in and gets him. Part of the Memphis basketball job has always been putting a fence around Memphis and getting the ones you want, the best ones. And so of late, first Penny was taking a pass on those guys. Of late, he's missed. You got to get that back. That's part of that job as well. And so, again, whether it's the next crop, Braylon Williams, who's going to be a few years or whatever else, I just think you got to have more in that. Those point guards are coming, though. Say, what we don't produce anymore is the bigs.
Yeah.
We don't produce the Bedfords and the 7-footer
I haven't
like
seen a dude coming out of Memphis taller
we
than
don't
6'3"
produce bigs
forever,
anymore.
man. Yeah.
For whatever reason, we just don't produce those, those 7-footers. Like, and I know Keith Lee was across the bridge, but for my money, he was all Memphis too.
Yeah.
We don't produce even those 6'9", 6'10" bigs out of Memphis anymore.
Yeah.
But them guards, we got guards all day for you, Sain.
Yeah, it's a ton of guards I see. But it's not like, I don't know, maybe it's because Penny hadn't recruited these kids. I don't know who these kids are. But you don't have the name recognition. Like, these guys were guys that were our age. Like, we had Robert O'Kelly, Tony Harris, Marcus Moody, all these dudes coming through here at the same time. Like, that's a totally different situation. But
you used to be measured on it. Larry Finch was measured
on whether he could keep the Memphis kids.
And lost it basically because he didn't get O'Kelly and Tony Harris and those guys.
So, it'll be interesting to see how Penny tries to build a team next year.
But you can't go all Memphis either.
No, you just got to find a balance of it. You got to have guys who you can kind of build some type of roster going forward, regardless of the NIL situation. You got to make it happen. So I put you in Penny Hardaway's shoes. I'm gonna put you in Zach Kleiman's shoes. Okay. How do you handle the draft, and how do you get us a big man next season?
I am using that pick, whatever it is, to find that guy. I don't know. I haven't scoured the free agent market to see what you need, but. And maybe my hopes are too lofty, but I'm hoping to put more than just a guy that can rebound and set screens in there. Somebody because again, I tell you, with these next 2 years that Jaren signed up, you gotta make your run now. There is no guarantee that you'll get Jaren Jackson back, although. The hope is that you do and you can keep that core together, but you have to win big now. And so maybe there is. Maybe an Andre Drummond can do that and be what you want. But if it comes down to trying to shoot for higher and you have to use that pick, I'm all for using the pick however I have to upgrade that position if I can. Now, if I don't have to.
You talking about trading the pick or drafting?
Trading the pick and trading the pick. James Wiseman was drafted number 2 by the Golden State Warriors. It's a perfect situation. Said he's going to come right in there. It's going to be perfect. And they can hand it off to him. They won a championship that year with James Wiseman doing nothing. Okay, so young player who we thought was going to be a fit, they didn't need him. It's ultimately not going to be. If you're going to stick a center, a young rookie center, I don't think he's going to be ready on the timeline that you need him there. I want a vet in that spot. It's the most important thing right now because I tell you, Sain, you know this better than me. 1 through 10, save for the 5 spot next to Jaren, is set for the most part. Whether you've got to, work a Canard into that deal to go get that guy or not, I think is, that's where you get into some market territory. But that pick, I'm using it however I've got to trade it to go get me a veteran. Unless I can do it through free agency, whatever else, then we'll get that pick. You'll use it and develop it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they
go about whatever the pathway is.
They got a lot of paths.
We know who the player is. We know what it looks like and everything else. But the path to get to that guy, be interesting to see which way they go.
Yeah, because there's so many things they can do, man. I've heard people talk about. I've heard people talk about trading down and getting Wendell Carter Jr. and doing something like. I mean. It's so many options and so many paths, and I don't think I'd be mad at none of them. But it's something interesting you did say was like with James Wiseman, right? How everyone was like, that guy's gonna be a perfect being for Golden State. And like for every Derrick Lively in Dallas, you also got your James Wiseman who went number 2 in the draft, and Golden State never did anything with him. You know what I mean?
Didn't even win the title.
It's such a crapshoot, man, when it comes down to the draft for sure. But even with Derrick Lively, they went out and got your boy from Washington. They went and got another big who's experienced for this playoff run. So it's really interesting. I'm glad you put that in there because it's a good way to think about it. Because there are people who are saying, well, just go draft. Whoever.
I don't want to have to depend on a rookie center next to Jaren. I want a veteran in there because I'm trying to win a title in these next 2 years.
Because my guy Daniel Greer, host of Greer's 901, he was like, go get an Andre Drummond for $6-8 million a year. Try to see if you can get Isaiah Hartenstein for a cheaper amount of money. And there are some people saying, go trade for Nick Claxton or go trade for this person. There's so many different paths, man. I honestly wouldn't be mad at none of them, just being honest with you.
I was cool with everything Jason said until he mentioned Luke Kennard, man.
I know.
Well, no, I don't. That's my issue. I don't want to have to give up Luke Kennard. Yeah. I don't want to have to give up Luke for. I think you need his shooting. You need to be able to space the floor. And right now you just got Bane. Okay, Gigi looks okay. Vince kind of, but. Where were the shooting? What are you? You were like 28th in the league in 3-point field goal percentage with Canard and Bane.
Right, and we talked about all that in the beginning of the show in the first segment. But the thing about Canard is you're talking about a guy who's making like 2.5. No, not pay wise. That's a totally different discussion. But like he's making like 2.5 threes per game on 6 attempts, right? So it's like if that's gone, like you might not find a guy. You're basically saying, can I get 2.5 3-pointers out of somebody? Because it's not like Canard's like this mega high volume shooter or scorer on this team. You know what I mean? So I get all sides of it. I'm not gonna act like Canard can't play, but if it means I can go get like a legit starting center that can like finish the final piece of this puzzle, I'm doing it 9 times out of 10. But I get it. I get people talking about the shooting thing and people, I got to see him with Ja. I got to really see Luke Kennard with Ja. Or I could just see Gigi Jackson with Ja. Right? And I think I'm okay with it, bro. You know what I mean? So
perhaps
I think
you are.
And Gigi might not shoot 45% from 3, but if he's giving me 37, 38%,
right,
and he can do all these other things too, give me that dude. That's who I want on the court with Ja, for sure. But Jason, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Always,
man. I knew you would come in and just make things right. Kid, I knew
I don't know if we did that, but
just settle y'all ass down.
Set the
it's
world
gonna be
right,
real.
man.
Yeah, man.
You two guys get together, man. It's just everything comes together
for real.
Like it's a good spot, man.
Right. And again, Penny, Roman Cleary.
Hey, man.
Hitman Hoops.
Hey.
And
got to tighten up, Penny.
Kenny Stubblefield. Yeah, Penny, like I said, Penny, you my man, bro. But you, help us help you, my guy. We got you. But you can't be out here like Jordan Brown gone, now he back.
We on probation.
And like, you go see guys who you go see like 8 dudes play, y'all watch, and then 15 dudes play. It's like, all right, Penny, wait. All right, bro, I'm out. All right, Penny, you got it, family. And Joe Cooper, like, what the hell is Joe Cooper, bro? Yep. But yeah, all right, man. But Smith, we appreciate you, bro.
Man, pleasure, brother.
All right, y'all. We about to take a break. When we come back, it's a 3-pointer here on Anthony Sain Show. See y'all in a minute.
This past week, and not only kept that 1% hope alive, I think that percentage has grown because you see them beat Florida Atlantic, you realize they can beat just about anybody in conference if they can beat that team.
Yeah, and we've known this. They haven't shown that in quite a while, but we've known the whole year that Memphis is really at their best, at their peak max powers. They're capable of beating pretty much any team in college basketball. I believe that. I mean, they have very quality wins. They've went in tough environments and won games against quality opponents. Like, Memphis can beat a lot of top 25 teams in the country probably. They're just that good on paper. But for whatever reason, they only show up at certain times.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
But like watching him develop into what he was. And I mean, forever will be etched in my mind the night that Dylan and Shannon Sharp and T got into it, and Shannon was talking big in his cardigan until Steve-O walked over there, and all of a sudden Shannon wasn't so big no more.
It's the only time I've ever seen Steven Adams pull his hair out of the bun.
Right. Like he was finna throw some hands, and Shannon Sharp wanted none of that smoke. He was ducking all that smoke.
That and Tony Bradley, him carrying a 7-foot Tony Bradley away from John Morant. You know?
I mean, love me some Steven Adams for that. But like, Drew, we've hit on second round picks. So if we keep these second round picks, like we've hit on those much better than we have on lottery, not, Tripp and Ja notwithstanding.
Right.
But we took in picks for this year as well as next year. Also,
2 for
last
24,
night,
1 for 25.
Tune in to the $2 Sports Show with Rusty Witten and Drew Gann every Friday at 3 p.m. only on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Shout out again to my man Jason Smith. I knew it was gonna be a good interview, man. Just so much wisdom.
Yeah, I love
that
Jason,
brother, man. Just being honest though, man. He's like, man, Penny, we all down for you, bro. But hey, gotta call it what it is, man. If you were anybody else, I mean, he brought up a good point though, man. He said, we didn't cut Tubby no slack. You know what I mean? And I think that's because we knew Penny was the answer, right? Because if we felt like y'all was about to hire another white boy behind Tubby Smith, we probably would have had that energy. We probably would have kept Grandpa around a little bit longer.
Grandpa.
If we thought y'all about to hire, what's the dude's name who everybody wanted at Memphis? He's a coach of
Scott Drew at Baylor.
Nah.
Oh, Bruce Pearl.
No.
There's a lot of
Come
them.
on, man. Oh, God.
Bruce Pearl, Scott Drew.
East Tennessee State coach or something like that?
Scott Forbes.
Yeah.
He's at Georgia Tech now, right? No. That's Damon. Where is Scott Forbes at? He's somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, if we thought he was coming behind Tubby, we probably would have held Tubby a little bit longer.
I tell you though, man, some of those dudes that we're interviewing were pretty good candidates, man.
Hey, but check this out though. That's what we just talked about, right? We talked about the bias thing in the first segment, right? Like Tubby is my man. If it come down to
Steve Forbes, not Scott
Steve
Forbes.
Yeah, I knew that in Sarah. Yeah, my man, Tubby. But yeah, man, the 3-pointer, man. We talked about 3 things going on in the world of sports. One of these things, Kenny, I got Penny on the brain. That's Kenny Stubblefield. Penny,
hey, man.
That voice you hear is Kenny Stubblefield. That's the guy you've been looking for.
No.
Hey, it'd be like Judas and the White Messiah. If y'all want him, come get him.
I'm here, baby.
All right, man. But one of these things I really don't care about, Kenny, but I hope you do. I'm assuming you do, right? It's the because you're white.
Because of my bias? Yeah. Mayonnaise.
It's something else that white people have been pretending they like for the last about probably 10 years.
Stop it.
Memphis Tiger football schedule.
Get out of here, man. They're about to be nasty, bro. Hey.
Memphis Tiger football dropped the schedule today. Y'all been pretending y'all give a damn about that shit for the last.
Stop it.
People really care about that for real?
Yeah, I love Memphis Tiger football.
All right, that's what's up.
I love covering it. Honestly, I'm a basketball guy, but in terms of covering football, Saturday mornings on a football field are a blast.
It's dope. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold you like it's not. But yeah, man, I got to get my shit off about Tiger football.
Yeah, you do.
But yeah, man, I think y'all been lying for the last about 10-year run.
All fakers, huh?
Yeah, man, just because, man, you think Tiger basketball be having excuses for why people ain't showing up. Tiger football be like, oh, man, it was traffic. I'm like, oh, it's good. Shit, my bad. Excuse me for expecting people to actually go to the games.
Back real quick on basketball, real quick. Do you know the excuse that is being used to explain the downfall of the Tiger basketball program this year?
What? I probably heard it. What you heard?
That the ice game against USF.
Yeah, it messed up
South Florida. Don't come. And it went downhill after that.
All after that. Be good for that type of stuff. All right, Tiger football dropped the schedule, man.
Hey, the away schedule is awesome. Florida State away, though.
Let's run through this.
Let's go to
man.
Tallahassee, man.
Oh, shit. We playing Florida State this year?
Yeah, in Tallahassee. Let's go.
Oh, who? I thought that was. I guess I thought that was FAU or something. North Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead. Let's do win or loss. North Alabama.
Win.
Troy.
Who?
Pastor Troy.
Win.
At Florida State. How much we losing by?
Win, baby.
Stop. Come on, bro.
Loss.
At Navy. That's a dub.
I don't know, man. Navy in Annapolis is tough, man. We have a tough time there.
Okay. MTSU. Sabrina's alma mater.
That's a dub.
At South Florida.
Okay, the good thing about that game, South Florida.
About none of these damn teams,
South Florida's offense was like really good last year. They got a really good coach. Golish is his name. They're a sleeping giant in the Florida area. All the Florida scrubs that don't go to Florida State, Miami, or Florida go to USF, and their scrubs are better than anybody else. Possibly a loss.
Charlotte.
Win.
At UTSA.
It's gonna be tough. UTSA's tough.
Ridgeway, the Road Runners of UTSA. Rice.
Win.
Man, his home schedule is as water.
Yes,
UAB.
Win.
At Tulane the end of the season.
It's gonna be tough. Tulane, but Tulane lost their quarterback, who's their best player, and a bunch of receivers. But they ended up getting a few Ohio State guys to come in,
bro,
out of the transfer portal.
Yeah, these folks don't run this schedule, bro. Them folks don't win conference, bro. Hey.
Yep.
Hey, this is like do or die for Silverfield because he's getting your boy back, right?
Yes, that's coming back.
Yeah.
And they just got a Mario Anderson as the running back transfer from South Carolina. Dude's a monster.
All right, bro. Come on, man.
I think, well, here's the love that Memphis is getting. We talked about this on Tap the other day. Memphis is getting a ton of love nationally because this is the first year that college football playoffs has opened up to 12 teams. And so one of those 12 slots is going to be filled by the best G5 school. This year, Memphis is rated by everybody to be the best G5 school.
Man, Memphis need to go and get in there.
And so this is the fun part about it, Anthony. I think last year a lot of folks came into the season with a lot of like just kind of down about the conference realignment shit and the Big 12 stuff. And man, what are we playing for here? Like our legitimate only thing that we can play for is a conference championship. This year, if Memphis does what everybody thinks they're going to be able to do, they got a chance to play for it all.
Man, you ain't never lied. Hey, check this out, though, Ken. This was about to happen, man. We got that new stadium coming, right? It'll be here in probably a couple years, right?
It's coming, 25.
I'm going to step out and say that around that time, you might get an invite from some version of some big conference.
Oh, 100. I am right there with you.
All right, right. Now, let's say that a certain coach, right? Tired of the cold weather, man. Tired of being out there in the West, in the Midwest, or whatever the hell that damn state is at, right? Say, man, you got to get me back in the South, man. Man, when I was in the South, man, I had things going.
Do you believe?
Hey, bro. Bro, you know how much I would lose my mind to put on a University of Memphis prime.
They had a shot. They had a shot to get him.
I heard that, man. Is it legs to that for real? No, don't even answer that because you're going to say something going to make me mad, bro, for real.
I mean,
because if y'all hillbillies did not let Prime come here, that's a real thing. And Mildred and them, I don't think it's a swindler.
No.
It better not been the case. That was a real thing.
Yeah. I mean, he wouldn't. He would have been here for.
Man, if he was here for 2 games, he could left.
He'd have gone straight to a. Yeah.
Oh, man. Bro, could you imagine how live it'd be?
Oh, my God.
If oh, come on, man. Come on. All right, man. Number 2.
Seth Hennigan and Shedeur Sanders. I'm joking. Y'all would have been relaxed, man.
But you know what though? Is it delusional? Is some of the people here in this town? If Coach Prime took this job, there will be people saying, "Are we really gonna let some some SWAC quarterback? We really think that guy's better than Seth Hennigan?"
Nobody would say that.
You a lie.
Nobody would say that.
Parrish Sharkey, nod your head. Thank you.
Parrish ain't nodding his head. Parrish just
bro.
shook his head and said, "Shut up."
Bruh, exactly. To my point, you would have seen people saying, he's going to let his son play, and we got Seth Hennigan out here. What's Shedeur Sanders done?
I love Seth, man.
Man, Shedeur would have been looking like Michael Jordan out there. Man, looking cold as hell out there. All right, man, number 2, speaking of white people.
It's a white heavy episode, man.
Hey, man, y'all done made me mad today, man.
My bad.
How dare y'all accuse me of being racist?
I apologize.
Just for saying I would trade Luke Kennard. Like, come on, bro.
Did that really happen?
Yes. The dude's like, oh, Sain's,
what's wrong with people, man?
we started talking about white basketball players. Saints are getting angry. And I'm like, bro, if one ain't angry, I'm just spitting facts. They about to trade Luke Kennard, man. I mean, if you want to get mad, you think I'm mad about it. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Speaking of white people, Caitlin Clark, coldest basketball player, and one of the coldest in the world, male or female right now, man, doing some sick shit on the court, man. Announces that she's...
Hey, by the way, let's real quick. You called that stuff. Remember a few days ago?
Was it?
We talked about Caitlin Clark breaking the scoring record, and you said she's going to go for 50.
I said it's going to be. I said that one whatever is going to be a single. It's going to be a double-digit number by the time it's night's over.
And it was.
It was.
It was triple digits when she got started.
Yeah,
it was double digits
when she got done.
She
dropped 39, 49.
No, it was 49 points.
Yeah, she dropped 49.
You straight up said she'll get 50, and she got 49.
She got 49, but she got that jump down to 2 numbers though.
Man,
it was 3 numbers going in.
Yeah,
and she got it down to 2 numbers for sure. Caitlin Clark, and I was like, okay. That's dope. That's dope because there was some suspense about it, bro. Whether or not she was going to come back or not, which is so crazy that these ladies, they're taking somewhat of a pay cut. Let me clean this up too before I get into my joke. All NIL money is not a fund, right? Some NIL money is an actual endorsement.
It's all supposed to be a endorsement.
I ain't gonna get into that, but Caitlin Clark has like endorsement deals. And those are going to transfer over when she goes pro. So she's going to get
if
that
they sign
money.
her to a contract,
right? Man, but she's under one now for the NIL deal, right?
It's probably with a collective.
She'll be fine.
She'll be fine. Oh no, dude, she's going to be fine.
She's going to be fine.
She's going to be fine
because she's going to be like walking in.
They'll put a shoe on her.
Yeah,
they'll put a shoe.
If Nike smart, they already got some in the works for her.
Yeah, they'll put a shoe on her.
They'll make her something for sure because she's going to be a mega star in the WNBA.
Mega.
Oh, but the irony.
We found this out on that infamous phone call on the way here to the studio.
You want to talk about the NBA being scripted, right?
Let's go.
If the NBA is scripted, Adam Silver's got some mittens on the WNBA as well. Because ain't no way in hell that Caitlin Clark, who goes to the University of Iowa, would play for any other franchise other than Indiana. Like, imagine Caitlin Clark playing for the Atlanta team.
Yeah. The Las Vegas Aces.
Perry Sharkey, is there a wider franchise in Indiana? There's no Boston team, right? Like, this is the equivalent of Larry Bird going to the Celtics,
That's
right?
exactly what it is. They're setting up a Magic
Bruh,
Johnson.
if you
Larry
think
Bird.
this shit ain't scripted, now when once the name play for Atlanta next year, you gonna know something up. Or is this our year 2?
This our year 2, I believe.
What was her girl name? Angel Reese. This her year?
Yeah. I think she come out this year too.
Yeah, she going to the blackest team in the league. I guarantee you that. She probably going to the Sparks, Atlanta, Houston. Adam Silver got this thing scripted. I got my magic. I got my magic.
I got my magic and my bird.
I got my magic
Let's
and bird.
go.
I got Jordan coming. The Juju girl. She's coming in a couple years. Man, if y'all don't think this shit's scripted, come on, bro.
That is a trip, man.
She went to the Boston Celtics equivalent. I don't know if they're good. Like, is Indiana?
I mean, they got the first pick in the draft.
Yes, so they're probably terrible.
Probably not
but are they historically good though?
Parrish is the WNBA guy.
What do you say?
They're mid. They're kind of mid. They're okay.
Hey, they finna be.
They had Tamika Catchings and they were good.
They finna catch another championship too. Caitlin Clark's gonna have them folks cold. Hey, but man, for real though, if you think that shit ain't scripted, like, that man came. Adam Silver. I don't know. Does the WNBA have a commissioner? I have no clue who that is.
Yeah.
What's her name? She used to play. She was a guard in the WNBA. She was one of the first WNBA players, right?
It's Adam Silver.
It's Adam Silver.
Adam Silver say, "Look here, Missy.
Yeah. The scriptwriter's been working overtime.
You go to Indiana, you tell them to tank. God damn it.
Oh yeah, her name is Kathy Engelbert.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, Kathy got stiff instructions.
Kathy got a memo.
Yeah, we're getting that.
Put that weighted ball in that draft. That draft.
Bring out the frozen envelopes. No media. No media at all.
Indiana.
The Indiana Fever select. Oh, come on, man. You know that's happening.
It's like LeBron it's like Cleveland getting the #1 draft pick when
you're
LeBron.
Crazy if you think that ain't fixed. And Angel Reese, you know she going somewhere black as hell. They're gonna give Memphis a team for her ass. Oh, send her ass to Memphis.
Miami, something like that.
Right,
Miami team.
Make a team. Oh man, but yeah, Caitlin Clark is going to do big things.
Oh,
of
dude.
course, she'll be doing that for the Indiana Fever. Number 3, weird story out the NBA, man. Also, I just give a quick shout out to Billy Richmond III. Doesn't play for a Memphis high school team. He went out of town wherever he went. Named to the Jordan Brand game, as well as McKinley Randolph. Who
Is she good?
I think she's in the girls.
That's true.
Jordan Brand game. Shout out to Zach Randolph for named his daughter Matt Kinley, which is that shit is so fire. Oh man, we were just talking about the stuff with Paul Young. Like either you know. If you don't know, just let us know you don't know. Right. That man named his daughter McKinley. Shout out to Zach Randolph, man, 50 for the city. Because she's a beast, and she looks and plays just like Zach, which is crazy. Shout out to that. But NBA news. Chris Paul came out in an interview, said that Daryl Morey flat out told him, he asked him, what do you think about going to Oklahoma City? He's like, nah, man, I ain't down for that. I just moved 15 people to Houston. He's like, okay, I got you, bro.
And then, damn,
traded the shit out of him.
Found out on the text message, found out on the ESPN ticker. Man, let me ask you a question.
Man,
is Daryl Morey the most hated GM in all of NBA?
It could be.
Folks hate that,
Hey, man. Oh, man. It's a business, bro. These dudes are nasty. These dudes get you the hell up out of here. Don't care what you talking about, man. Sit that man in Oklahoma City. Not this version. I'm talking about when they were sorry.
Yeah.
Got that man up out of here.
He had SGA on the team. He was, man. But, hey, let me tell you, when he went to OKC, they balled out. You remember that
He
team?
got them folks to
they
the
got him in
playoffs.
the playoffs.
Yep.
They had no business being in the playoffs.
Yep, for sure, man. So, weird story.
I can't even stand Chris Paul.
Nah, but I was. But if you
Respect.
think about it, his reputation changed. Like that season, a
Oh,
lot of people's
absolutely.
opinion of Chris Paul changed.
Because he was coming off the Clippers situation where they were supposed to be, they were always the best, top 10 team in the West.
Yeah.
Could never come out the West.
And then he went to Houston.
Because
And
Blake's trash ass.
he went to Houston. It was like, I don't know. It was him and James Harden together, so it was hard to cheer for you. But he definitely had a career flip when he went to Oklahoma City.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, he really did what vets do, man. He really like pushed those guys.
So what he was in, so he went to, he was OKC. So, he was at, no, he wasn't at
Houston. He went from the Clippers to Houston.
He went Clippers, Houston, OKC. Right. Where did he go after OKC?
After OKC, he went to
Was he straight to Phoenix?
Phoenix, yeah. Phoenix and then
yeah.
Phoenix and then where is he now?
Was he at
Golden
Phoenix for
State.
that long?
For a couple of years.
I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man. So that's it, man. It's a 3-pointer. 3 things going on in the world of sports, man. But that Caitlin Clark going to Indiana, like, all right, man. Wait a minute here. Like this
If that ain't scripted,
this feels
man.
to be set up a little bit. Of course it is, man. Of course it is. Of course it is. The NBA's equivalent of the Boston, of WNBA equivalent of Larry Bird going to Boston
Yes.
is definitely Caitlin Clark going to Indiana. Why not? But yeah, man, we're about to take a break, man. When we come back, Inside the Same Brain is gonna be here on the Anthony Sain Show. See you guys in a minute.
What else happened over these last 2 games that makes you go, that explains the change?
Specifically yesterday was him riding,
Man,
his starting 5. There wasn't a starter yesterday that played less than 30 minutes.
which is incredible, right?
It's
Simple,
incredible
right?
for 2 reasons. It's incredible because I think that's the first time, and it was February 25th that happened.
Right.
It's also incredible because, we just actually did it. Like,
when you play your best players,
good things happen.
Really good things happen.
Confidence is huge. And when you're allowed to continue to play through stuff, like your confidence is there, you play harder. When you're out there and you're thinking you're going to get subbed in the first 2 minutes, or dudes you're not used to playing with are coming in, like, I can see dudes just either not giving it all, or it'd be just kind of be like.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
But I just want to ask the question. Should Derrick Rose retire?
I mean,
I'm being dead serious. It's not nothing against the guy.
I know you are. That's why it sucks.
I'm asking a legit question because he can't stay injury free. I don't know if it, maybe an offseason helps.
Magic 8 Ball. All signs point to yes.
Sheesh. That's the sad part of it too.
It's again, like I know a lot of people want him to do the Udonis Haslam thing. Like that's the extent of Derrick Rose at this point. It's
okay.
Like, he still showed. I mean, he had a nice move under the basket tonight, but it's man, like he's always hurt for a reason, dude. His body's just it doesn't happen, right? And if he can fit into Udonis Haslam type role where he's just the bench guy and the vet for the team, then that's awesome.
Tune in to the Grizz 901 postgame show, live after every Grizzlies game on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Final segment of the show. We call this Inside the Same Brain. Well, talk about something that's just on a brother's mind, man. Something that's just been thinking about. It typically turns into something I haven't seen on TV, I haven't seen on Facebook or whatever, social media. And I'm going to talk about a couple things today, a couple things that are going on in the entertainment world, Kenny Stubblefield. I ran across this documentary. Shout out to my man, Jason Smith, who put me on to it. He was talking about it on his show, and I watched it that same night. And it's a documentary. I can't think of the name of it, but it's about the making of the music video and the song "We Are the World."
Mm-hmm.
You remember when we were little kids?
Yes.
Came out around 1986. We were probably like 7 years old at the time.
I remember that
84, 85. It was like we were little kids when it came out. Though.
That being my first time I saw a music video and go, oh my gosh, look at how many cool people are on there.
And it was back in the day when it's like, I don't know who that is, but I know he's somebody. Or I don't know their music, but I know it's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
And when you watched it, you felt like you were watching the Avengers for the first time because it was literally
everybody.
It was a mashup of you talking about. I don't even want to get into the names, bro. Michael Jackson.
Is there an artist that could pull that off now? Michael Jackson was so monster, man.
Bro, and it was Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie that put it together, and there was just so many things. As a little kid, you look and say, okay, that's awesome. All the dope artists are in this video, right? So it's like it's kind of an afterthought, but you don't really think about, okay, damn, everybody was in this, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna try to pull it up real fast and just kind of get a list of the people that were in this video at the time. Yeah, I got a list. Got Michael Jackson, Kenny Rogers, Tina Turner, James Ingram, Paul Simon, Al Jarreau, Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen, Cyndi Lauper, Kenny Loggins, Lionel Richie, Steve Perry, Stevie Wonder, Willie Nelson, Daryl Hall and Oates were in it. Diana Ross, I said her? No. Dionne Warwick, Bob Dylan, Ray Charles. It went crazy, bro. You know what I mean? It went absolutely crazy, right? Just literal who's who in music. But this documentary kind of broke down how improbable it was to pull this off, how they pulled it off. You've never seen it, Kenny, which is pretty cool. First of all, they asked Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson to write the song, right? And Michael Jackson had no intention of actually performing the song. He just wanted to write it and get out of the way.
Right.
Because at this point, Michael Jackson's hottest fish grease, biggest star in the world. It was still super young though, right? This is like right after Thriller, around that time, right? So he's like freaking Michael Jackson.
Just monster.
But he's still a kid. He's still super young. He's still like 23, 24 years old probably. So they're making the song, and they said that him and Lionel Richie just bullshitting, right? Like the daylight's coming. They're like, all right, man, we got this. We just kind of screwing around in the studio.
Yeah.
But they really weren't being serious about it, right? And they said that they had to figure out a way to get all those artists in one city, one day at the same time. Because they said, man, if this takes anything more than one day, it's not happening. Because it's too many egos. It's going to be too hard to get all those people back in that studio again.
Right.
We've got to get this done one day, one night, hit it, perfect it, and we're done. Like, it can't be a multiple day thing. It's got to happen in one day. So they said, let's base it around the American Music Awards, right? The American Music Awards were in town, in L.A. Lionel Richie was the host. And they sent these invites to all these people. But they couldn't tell what they were doing. Like they didn't want other people to know who was in it. But the word kind of got around, and it was a different time. Like you didn't have cell phones, you didn't have social media,
Twitter,
so you could kind of hide shit a little better, right?
Yep.
And and they were interviewing people because word kind of got out about it.
You didn't have BCM out there.
Yeah. Blue City Media, they didn't have Roman Cleary and Hitman Hoops out there.
We're breaking it.
And like they were interviewing people who were supposed to be in it, right? And they were like, yeah, man, it's something. I don't know. Like, we're supposed to be doing something, bro. I haven't seen the song. Like, all this type of stuff. Like, it was like super secretive, right?
Yeah.
And even like the place where the studio where they were having it, they didn't tell the artists where they were going until that night. Like meet up here. Because they were fearing like millions of people would be out there.
And they would have.
Everybody, bro. Mega stars are going to be there. And they said, and if the artists pull up and there's like a crowd of people there, they're not going to go
They're
in.
going to dip. Yep.
Right. So it was like this. Like the way they pulled it off was crazy, bro. Like how perfect it had to be, right? And Prince, they were trying to get Prince to do it, and you know Prince and Michael Jackson were rivals at this time, and Prince didn't show up, and Prince was like, "Man, I'll play a guitar solo, but I want to be in another room. I don't want to be in there with everybody." And like, no, man, we need you to sing. And that didn't happen. And they gave his part to Huey Lewis from Huey Lewis in the News. They gave Michael Jackson's part that. Al Jarreau was drunk as shit that night. They talked about Bob Dylan had anxiety. He was like, I never been around this many black people in my life. Like y'all some greats. Hey, I ain't never been around y'all like this. So he was super nervous. He was like, man, I'm a singer, but I ain't one of y'all type of singer. You know what I mean? So it was, that whole thing was weird, man.
Willie was in the corner smoking up.
Yeah, but the funniest part, man, it had me dying laughing, bro. Man, I don't want to give away the whole thing. I pretty much gave it away because it's history. We know what happened. Right. But Stevie Wonder was there, right? So, two funny things with Stevie Wonder. Like Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles were both there, right? And
oh, come on, man. Jesus.
And Stevie Wonder was like, hey, if we don't get it right, if you leave or it doesn't get done tonight, me and Ray are gonna take y'all. Got to drive you home. Got to drive you back to your hotel room. That was funny, but the hilarious part, bro. Oh my God! All right, Stevie Wonder was like, since we're doing this for Africa, and for people, I forgot that part.
Yeah.
The whole thing was for Live Aid. It was like for not Live Aid. It was for the benefit starving kids in Africa, right? That's what the whole benefit of the music was. So Stevie Wonder was like, since we're doing this for kids in Africa, we got to put some Swahili in this, right? So Stevie Wonder started singing the lyrics of the song in Swahili. He was like, everybody, it's simple. I'm going to teach y'all the words and let's just sing this one little part in Swahili, right? So people was like, man, this is weird. Like, I don't know what I'm singing. I'm just singing sounds. Like, I don't know what we're doing, right? And so Waylon Jennings was a gospel, not a gospel, it was a country music
country
singer.
guy, yeah.
He says, I don't know about y'all, but a good old boy from the South like me don't know nothing about no Swahili and left.
That sounds about right. Sounds about right.
He said them exact words. He literally said, man, look, I don't know what I'm saying. He said, a good old boy ain't never used Swahili and left. Bro, imagine being on the set of We Are the World.
And that dude just dips on. Oh, my God.
Oh, it's too much. It's too much ninja-dom going on here. I'm gone. Oh,
Taco Sanganos was catering the event.
Oh God. But yeah, man, imagine being a part of the most historical night in music history, bro, and leave it over Swahili. You're like, all right, that's why I draw the line. It's a little bit too black in here for me. It's a little too African for you, boy. I'm gone.
Waylon Jennings.
Walked out that joint.
That sounds about right.
Oh, man.
That is. Dude.
So the rest is history, right? And they talked about how certain people had tough parts in the song, and like they paired people together because the way Michael Jackson wrote the song, and they said Michael Jackson was in there like screwing around before everybody got there and recorded stuff by himself, and decided, yeah, I'll get on the song. And I was like, shit, man, like Michael Jackson almost wasn't in this. Like his brothers, Janet Jackson, Marlon, Michael, Tito, all of them was in it, but Michael was saying, I don't know if I'm gonna be in it or not. So He ended up getting in it. There were certain people that were struggling with their parts, and like Stevie Wonder, who's a musical genius, he helped Bob Dylan because Bob was like, "Man, I don't know how to sing this. Like, I don't know why y'all picked me. I'm not gonna tell y'all no, but I don't know why y'all wanted me to be in this. Like,
Right.
I don't fit in, right? It's like I don't sing like you guys sing. It's a totally different style of singing. So Stevie Wonder was like, Bob, come here. So he's playing the song, and Stevie Wonder sings the song in Bob Dylan's voice, and told him, "Go do this. Like this is how you would do it." And Bob's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that is how I do it." And he went it. The Bob Dylan verse, the voice that you heard Bob Dylan using on
We Are the World, yeah. Was
Stevie Wonder fed it to him.
That's
he said,
so
"Go
crazy.
sing it like this."
It just makes you go, man, how talented are these people, man?
And it said Stevie Wonder like he's a musical genius. And they said he heard the song. He said, okay, your part should go like this. And he imitated their voice, and it sounded just like Bob Dylan coming out of his mouth. Like Stevie Wonder is a musical genius for sure. But it was really good, man. I didn't miss a second of it. Super captivated by it because it really shows you, and it showed like the awkwardness, like. It was like first day of school. They said it felt like first day of school. It's like, man, I'm so-and-so. I'm a mega star at this time. And like I'm in a room with everybody, bro. And I'm feeling like first day of school, nervous. Like then you got your ego. It's like, man, I'm this. But crap, there's Michael Jackson right there.
Who was the star of that room?
Oh,
though?
Michael Jackson.
Was it? It had to have been Michael Jackson.
Michael
right?
Jackson was still the star. You know what I mean? Probably one of the younger people in there. And then like people back then were younger than you thought they were.
Yeah.
Like Lionel Richie wasn't that old.
Yeah.
And it was like. It was wild, man. You could just see the nervous energy. It started getting stanky up in that joint, man. It was like, man, it's musty. We've been in here and it came at started 11 o'clock at night. And I don't want to say they wrapped up to maybe 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, standing in place the whole time. All these mega stars in the room. You know, it was wild, bro. Quincy Jones was like the puppeteer for the whole thing. It was really good. It was really good, though. So y'all check that out on Netflix for sure, man. For sure. We Are the World documentary. Just type in We Are the World and it'll pop up.
I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, check it out, man. But it's been a good show. Shout out to my boy Jason Smith for coming in with me, man. I knew it would be a phenomenal show, and it was. Yeah, man. But we're going to slide about this joint, man. Tigers got a game today. I'm going to predict a win. I'm going to speak into the future.
Right now it is 20-16. Memphis up with 8 minutes left in the first half.
Oh, shit. All right. But, yeah, we're going to hold on to win, man.
Let's go, man.
We're going to hold on to win. We're going to hold on to win. When y'all see this tomorrow, you're going to say, man, Sain called that joint. He looked into the future. But, yeah, man.
Saint Stradamus, baby.
Yeah, Saint Stradamus is back. For Kennard Stubblefield behind the glass, for my man, Paris Sharkey, a.k.a. Marbles, a.k.a. Mushmouth Malone.
Smiles McGee.
Smiles McGee, yeah, there you go.
Man, it's cheesing in here, man.
Yeah, man, my boy got the braces taken out, man. I'm telling you, that boy said, man, so who's the retainer coming out, man? I'm doing some work when I get to the house. I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit. No, he didn't say that.
What do you mean?
Miss Sharkey, he did not say that.
Miss Sharkey, he did not say that.
He should be saying it, but he didn't say that. But for Paris Sharkey, for Kennard Stubblefield behind the glass, for my man Jason Smith, appreciate you, brother. Much love to you. We about to slide about this joint, man, and we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.